The worn-down floorboards creak under your feet as you take your first step forward into the abandoned Masterson's house. All the years of being left to the elements have really done a number on the place, and you can't help but notice the musty smell that lingers in the air. There's a few seconds where you observe the state of everything in front of you, before you remember why you came here. Reaching into your pocket, you pull out your phone to begin recording. Even though you're here on nothing more than a dare, you still need to make sure there's some proof to show your friends. As soon as you start recording, there's a small creaking sound off to your left. With an immediate turn of the head, you frantically search the area the noise came from, and find that it seems to be the living room. After being met with silence and stillness, you chalk the sound up to nothing more than the wind blowing against the battered windows before you push forward to a withered staircase. The stairs that you find yourself approaching look even more dilapidated than everything else you've seen so far. But you know that you must climb them. Putting one tentative foot in front of the other, you slowly make your way up the steps. The loud creaking noises under your feet are not helping the situation in the slightest. Though you scoff at the idea of haunted houses, there is something about this particular place that has you feeling a sense of apprehension. It's as though there is a presence that still resides in the walls. You would never claim that there is something supernatural here, but you do feel like there is someone who is watching your every move. Upon reaching the top of the set of the stairs, you feel something move off to your right. As your head turns, you're met by a rather long hallway. You take a few timid steps down it while making sure your phone is still recording. This is when you notice a chill that fills the air. It's as though the temperature in the house has suddenly dropped 20 degrees. You can't help but shiver for a moment before continuing down the hall. Your eyes catch a glimpse of an open door at the end of the hallway, and you notice a bit of man-made light shining from somewhere within the room. As you take another step, the door suddenly slams shut and you are frozen in fear. While you stand there, waiting, too terrified to move, you could swear that a gust of freezing air just flew by. You tell yourself that it's just your imagination. The second burst of cold air has you rethinking that idea. While your attention is focused on the air forcefully moving through your hair, the door at the end of the hall begins to slowly creak open. The noise is enough to bring your focus back towards the mysterious room as you anxiously watch the door gradually moving. As the door touches the wall, there's a brief moment where everything seems to stop. There is no cool air, no sensation of being watched. It is just you in a worn-down hallway of an abandoned house. Then the face appears in the doorway. It is a woman's face that is skeletal in nature and is as pale as can be. The woman stares at you with a look of melancholy that you seem to relate to. Her look quickly turns to one of anger as she takes a step out of the room and into the hall. It's in that moment that you can tell the woman is not benevolent in nature, so you run back the way you came. As you approach the stairs leading down to the ground floor, the sudden appearance of a rotting hand on the guardrail makes you change your mind. After quickly scanning the surrounding area, you notice an attic hatch that is already open and has a ladder leading upwards. Moving as fast as your legs will carry you, you sprint the dozen or so feet to the ladder and begin to climb up. All your instincts tell you not to look down, but you do it anyways. The woman appears from around the corner, and her expression has grown even more intense. You frantically scramble the rest of the way into the attic and pull the ladder up before the woman can use it. Once you've shut the attic hatch, You take a moment to gather yourself. Your heart is pounding against your chest, and it feels like you could die of cardiac arrest at any moment. After a few seconds have passed, things start to calm down, and you feel as though you can move again. You get to your feet and turn on the flashlight setting on your phone. As you shine the beam of light around the dusty attic, you find the place is cluttered with various knickknacks and antiques that were left behind by the Mastersons. You timidly move forward while taking time to examine some of the items as you pass them. The knowledge that someone is waiting to harm you once you exit the attic hasn't been forgotten. Your eyes move over the space around you while searching for some way to get out of this house. That's when you spot a small, stained glass window on the far side of the attic. You can't help but let out a sigh of relief as your feet begin to carry you over towards the thing that will be your makeshift exit. It takes you until you're almost to the window to see it, but you notice it nonetheless. Just barely sticking out from behind a few boxes stacked on top of each other to the immediate right of the window is a foot. The appendage isn't moving as you tentatively approach it, but you remain cautious all the same. As you shine the light over the foot, you can just barely see a bit of the leg it's attached to. The closer you get, the more the body becomes visible, and the slower you go. A horrible feeling slams into the pit of your stomach as you whisper to yourself that it can't be true. The last few steps seem to take an eternity as your worst suspicions start to look more and more realistic. You shine the small beam of light from your phone slowly up the body that lies before you. The attic is just dark enough that you can't make out any details of the corpse until your light passes over it. As you progress upward, the facts are starting to lay themselves bare before you. Too many of the details are connecting as you hesitate, moving the light up to the face of the body. You take a deep breath before you illuminate the visage of the corpse. Upon seeing the face, your hand fails you and your phone slips from your grasp. You go numb as the room around you seems to swirl and twist. It can't be helped as your knees give out and you fall to the ground. You weep while looking at the corpse that lay less than a few feet from the window. Your mind desperately tries to process how it's possible, but it can't seem to come up with anything. There's nothing you can do but mourn as you stare at your own corpse. That's when you realize it is true what they say about the Mastersons' house. It truly is haunted.